What's going on, friends? Internet junkies, Comic-Conners, fanboys, true believers, crackheads, pimps, and everything in between. It's your host, Rob Banks, and this is the Red Cup Review. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite, best Comic-Con San Diego 2017 reveals of this past weekend. And we're going to get right into it. These are my favorite reveals, and here it goes. We're going to start at number 10 with the Quantum Mechanics Princess Bride Wesley figure. The reason why this made my list is because here's a perfect example of a company that's trying to push the ball forward. It's a surprising reveal. It's an awesome movie, The Princess Bride is, and the figure looks pretty good. And they're doing like some Star Trek The Next Generation figures. They look cool too. Although probably not at the level of Hot Toys, they're pushing the envelope. They're giving us something different, and that's going to be a recurring theme in this video, is show me something different. Okay, so the Wesley figure from Princess Bride Quantum Mechanics at number 10. Number 9, Ringside Collectibles Mean Gene Okerlund. Who doesn't need a Mean Gene Okerlund figure? When I was a kid, I wish I had characters like Mean Gene or some of the announcers, you know. I play action figures from time to time with, Captain Awesome, Grayson, and he's like, where are all the side characters? Where are the Lois Lanes? Where are the Jimmy Olsens? Where are the J. Jonah Jamesons of the world? We have to do some world building, It's not just about smashing figures together, even for a 6-year-old. Sometimes it's about building a plot and a story. And for those of us that actually just like to display our figures, I think we would appreciate more guys like this as well. Mean Gene comes with his trademark mic. He comes with 2 different jackets. He's got his teleprompter. What more do you need? That's why he made the list, because I think that companies need to start making more figures like this. Number 8, Mondo Batman, the animated series Batman and Mr. Freeze figures. Apparently this Batman figure was released a while back. I didn't see it. And the Mr. Freeze figure looks great. It's modeled after the Heart of Ice episode from Batman the Animated Series, which is probably the greatest, single episode of a cartoon ever created, or at least it's pretty up there. Batman even comes with his cup of soup that he defeats Mr. Freeze with at the end. That's a pretty awesome little thing that they added in there. Mr. Freeze comes with actually it looks like a gravestone with some snow on it of his deceased wife. These figures made the list. They're in 1/6 scale. They made the list, in my opinion, because they took paint applications and did what I would like to have seen more of in the toy world. And they actually did some cell shading on the figures themselves. So the figures look like they popped right off the screen, and I think they need to do more of this. I think a company like Hasbro would learn a lot by taking some of their Transformer figures and maybe making like some kind of maybe an adult collector line where they add a couple more paint apps and do some cell shading. I can't speak tonight, apparently. But they made the list at number 8 because I thought it was an awesome idea to do the cell shading on the figures. Alright, I gotta get off this because I can't speak tonight. Okay, number 7, Sideshow Batman Classic in 1/6. We have a million Batman figures that have come out. Sideshow has already had a few Batman figures, but this one just looks dynamite. It's got a real sleek outfit. It's got a dynamite face sculpt. I think Sideshow really brought it this year. I think Sideshow works best when they do figures that are a little bit more caricature-like, or characterizations of. They do pretty good comic figures as well in 1/6 scale, except for that Superman figure that was fucking atrocious. So steer clear of that one. But most of their other releases have been pretty good, and this one looks like it's headed in the right direction. Okay, that's at number 7. Number 6, the Sideshow Mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi figure in 1/6 scale. This figure looks awesome. It's a great idea. Sideshow's doing a real smart move, I think, by taking their Mythos statues and actually transferring them into 1/6 scale, because not everybody has the room or the money to collect statues, and those Mythos statues are actually pretty dope. I'm sure if this sells well, you'll get more. You'll probably get the Obi-Wan and the Darth Vader and all that other good stuff. But this is actually like, what's cool about this figure is that it gives you almost like a between movies. You get like a post-Episode 3, pre-Episode 4 version of Obi-Wan. He's got a bunch of gadgets with him, a bunch of accessories, and he looks cool. It's kind of an amalgamation they did between Ian McGregor and, come on, man, favorite guy in Star Wars, Alec Guinness. That's right. So they did kind of like an amalgamation between the two of them. I think it looks great. It made the list for me, and it was a surprise. I like that. I like surprises. I like show me something I haven't seen before. I think more companies need to start doing that. So that's at number 6. Okay, top 5, here it goes. DC Collectibles, the animated series, and the Justice figures. Basically, the Justice League, the whole DC Collectibles figure reveals as well. They were neck and neck with me for the Marvel Legend figures. I'm kind of a little bit marveled out. This con was a little predictable. There was a lot of Justice League, Thor Ragnarok, same shit we've seen a million fucking times before. The reason why these made the list is because I just think they look dynamite. I think the stuff they're doing with the Nightwing figure specifically looks great. They got a great looking Flash. They come with some really cool looking bases as well. The Superman's got him like, in a flying pose. The bases are really cool. Big seller for this. Well, here's the negative, though. They look good, but we all know that in 2 years, DC is going to relaunch their fucking lines like they did the last time, again, and you're going to get the same old recycled shit over and over again. They need to start offering us figures that we hadn't gotten before, but I guess if you got to launch something new, you might as well go with your big guns. Justice League is coming out at the end of the year, so why not show a whole bunch of new Justice League characters as well? This is basically the Icons line 2.0, and then next year, by the time this line comes out, you're gonna get the Essentials Plus collection, and then the Plus Plus collection, and the rehash and the recycle of the same shit over and over again. They really need to stick with these. The face sculpts do look pretty awesome on them. A little bit predictable here and there, but what I like is what they're doing with their animated series line. They have like these different face packs. They have like the Joker and Harley Quinn, like different face sculpts you could put on them to change their expressions and stuff. And we've all seen this before, but they're doing what puts them ahead of Marvel Legends in my opinion. Even though the Marvel Legends sculpts have really stepped themselves up, especially with that Cable, that 90s Cable, dynamite figure. Is these sets they're doing. They got this giant Batcave diorama thing going on now with Alfred, another side character, essential for world building, I might add, and that's what caught my eye. I had seen this before, but I hadn't really seen it like I did at the con. It looks great. They had the Batmobile. Eventually, you got the Batplane, you got the Bat Signal. You're going to be able to build your own Batcave, and it's a really smart idea on DC's part as far as their collectibles line go, and that's why it made the list at number 5. Okay, moving it right along. Number 4, Blitzway 1/6 Hannibal Lecter figure. Do I need a Hannibal Lecter figure? No. Am I going to buy Hannibal Lecter? No. But it's something else to fucking look at. I mean, and the thing looks great. The head sculpt is great. It looks just like Sir Anthony Hopkins. Blitzway's come a great way, especially with their Ghostbuster figures that were announced last year. This figure looks great as well. I know a lot of people that were excited about this, but what I like about this figure is that if you go back, kind of rewind the video a little bit and take a look at his arms and his hands in particular, could this be the next evolution in 1/6 scale collecting as far as body molds go? I mean, you got his hands like this, his hands are up, his hands got the gripping hand. Aside from all the accessories and all that other shit we've seen before, the arms don't look like he comes with any other arms or hands. They might actually articulate themselves, the arms and stuff. This is a seamless body unlike I've never seen before, and this could be like a jumping point now, which is why I added it so high on the list. Plus, it's just something new and cool to look at. So, Blitzway 1/6 scale Hannibal Lecter at number 4. Number 3, the Mezco 112 line. These guys continue to knock it out of the goddamn park. They had some really cool releases this year. I wish they would have had a few more, and I really wish they would have had more Universal Monster figures. People are sleeping on that goddamn Frankenstein figure, the diorama. This shit is awesome. If you are a fan of horror movies, you guys gotta check this out. And I'm telling you right now, if they do get off their asses and release a Bela Lugosi Dracula figure or a Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman figure, that Frankenstein is gonna be a must-have. And getting back to the figures that they did reveal, though, they got like some Ragnarok figures. They got the Planet Hulk. They got Thor from that movie, and it looked great. I'm not a big fan of movie figures myself. I don't really like them. I don't really collect them, even though my 1/6 scale collection is pretty much movie figures. But that's just some shit you're gonna have to figure out for yourself. These figures, they look great. They are going to have soft goods. A lot of them had like a lot of plastic mold on them, but they did say in an interview that I saw with Pixel Dan where they're going to be switching over to like faux leather and some soft goods, so that's pretty cool. They also got a really dynamite Spider-Man figure coming out from the Spider-Man Homecoming line. The one I happen to like the most was the Catwoman reveal, which is funny why they're doing a modern Catwoman, and their first Batman release is going to be a Batman Ascending Knight, which is essentially a year 1 interpretation of the figure, but the Catwoman figure looks great nonetheless. She comes with 3 head sculpts. Dynamite looking figure. Mezco knocks the shit out of the park. These are like modern day Migos, like Marvel Legends meet Migos. I was describing it to some guy. These figures are fantastic. You got to get on the ball if you haven't jumped on it already. Get on the Mezco 112 train. Okay, so their reveals I thought were great. Number 2, this wasn't so much a figure toy reveal as much as it wasn't either. It was a trailer reveal, and it is a trailer from a movie that I've been waiting for pretty much since I read the goddamn book. The Ready Player One trailer was fucking awesome. Okay, for those of you that haven't read this book, you should shut this video off and go read this book. Go to your store and read this book right now. And realize how fucking cool this book was. A couple of years ago, a buddy of mine was like, yo, they got this great book, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. You gotta read it. I was like, yeah, alright, whatever. It sat on my shelf for a few months. I picked it up, I read it, completely blew my mind, and instantly became one of my favorite books of all time. It's chock full of 80s nostalgia and trivia and 70s nostalgia, and it's a great story. You pretty much get the gist from the trailer, so go watch the trailer, come back, rewatch the rest of this. Okay, you're back. Alright, great. So, did not fucking blow your mind? And even if it didn't and it looks meh, go read the goddamn book and then it'll blow your mind. This is great. The story of Wade Watts finally being told. Steven Spielberg's doing it. I personally can't wait for it. There's a fuck ton of old school nostalgia stuffed into this movie, and it's not overstuffed, and it's not like, oh, they're just trying to shove shit down your throat to make you excited for this movie. No, it was actually in the book. And in the trailer, they have like the DeLorean like dodging these giant wrecking balls coming through the city, trying to stop it. Yo, the Dynamite book, you guys gotta go read it. Okay, so the Ready Player One trailer at number 2, and number 1. If you guys didn't already predict that my number 1 wouldn't have been the Blitzway 1/6 scale Ghostbusters Ecto-1 Mobile, you're out of your fucking minds, because this was the reveal of the con. It's what most Ghostbuster fans were waiting for. The goddamn thing is like 3.5 feet long. It comes with working lights, possibly working sounds. This thing is unbelievable looking. I mean, the amount of detail that went into this. There was a picture from somebody at the con. Doors open, inside of the cab of the Ecto-1, and the seats actually have like when you sit in a car for a long time and the seats are worn out and your fucking ass puts that little dent in the seat. It's there. The leather is like worn and cracked, and it's got the original, the old school 1980s New York City license plates. I mean, the thing looks friggin' amazing. The only thing that's not going to be amazing, though, is the hit to the wallet, because this is probably going to be around $1,000. If we're lucky, it'll be $1,000. I hope not too much more than that, but this is like something that I've been waiting for my whole life. Ghostbuster fans, this is going to be the crown jewel of your fucking collection. This is the piece de la resistance of Ghostbuster action figure collecting. The display on it is unreal. You gotta go online and check out not just the production photos, but go and check the photos from the con itself that show you in scale people standing next to this friggin' thing. It's unbelievable. If you happen to have the room for it, that is. So, the Blitzway 1/6 scale Ecto-1 is the number 1 from this year's con on my list. I kind of knew it was coming anyway, but just to actually see it in person was pretty dynamite. Okay, shout-outs. I want to give a big shout-out to Michael Crawford from MWCtoys.com. It's who I go to for a lot of my written reviews. The guy was kind enough to lend his photos to let us use for some of the pictures you guys have seen from some of the reveals. He does great reviews. He's who I go to most of the time. If I'm on the fence about an action figure, he mostly does written reviews. That's Michael Crawford on Facebook and MWCtoys.com. Also, a big shout out to Iron Chief Studios for pushing the line once again with their Bond figures in 1/6 scale. Here's another perfect example of showing me something that I've never seen before. Show me something new. Hot Toys wasn't even on my list. Every fucking Hot Toy looks great. They all look good. Everything at this con looks great, alright? But it's all Justice League over again. Same cycle in the same Thor, Ragnarok, and I bet you next year everything is Avengers Infinity War. The whole fucking Hot Toy display is going to be Avengers Infinity War, up your ass. It's getting predictable, okay? It's getting like Hasbro Mattel level predictable with some of these companies. You got Mafex and Figuarts and Square Enix and Hasbro, and they all produce the same shit over and over again. Everyone is vying for your dollar and no one's offering anything new. which is why I'm giving props to Iron Chief Studio, Big Chief Studios, and the guys that are making the Quantum Mechanics that are making the Princess Bride figures for actually giving us something new. I thought Sideshow really brought it this year, and there was one thing in particular. They had this Dickard Blade Runner figure from the Blade Runner movie, Harrison Ford. It was just sitting there without a for sale sign, and they swore, oh, this thing isn't for sale, it's not for sale. It's bullshit, I think. I'm telling you. Why would you put a figure up there if you have no intentions of ever selling it? This figure would fit perfectly in their line of those cult movies, like their Ash figure, their Ghostbusters, their Ash figure, their Beetlejuice. They got what was the other release? The Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom figure. This fits right in there with all those icons and would probably be a great addition. Look, we know the head sculpt ain't there. Oh, their releases look like shit. All their releases don't look like shit, okay? They're characterizations. They're never gonna be Hot Toys. They're not hiring the same sculptors. They don't have, but at least they're giving you something new, for Christ's sakes. I mean, that's just cool. It's just cool to see new shit. At least they're trying. And that's what I like to see from a company. I want to see you try. I want to see you show me something that I've never seen before. The Marvel Legends Classic Wave, the classic Marvel Legends ones that come in the old school packaging, those look dynamite as well. The reason why they didn't make my list is because they're just basically re-releases at this point. But it is cool to see that they're at least trying to offer something new, even though they're recycling the same old bullshit anyway. What else? Oh, DC Animated is announced their Death and Return of Superman two-parter coming next year. So some of the next DC animation movies, you have Gotham by Gaslight coming out, which is cool. Elseworld, a very cool Elseworld story. And then you're going to have your two-parter with the Death and Return of Superman, which is pretty cool too. Personally, I'm waiting for Kingdom Come or something like Identity Crisis. I was never really big on the Death and Return of Superman. I know a lot of people grew up with it. It was kind of part of my generation too. Only I just, thought of it as just like a big cash-grabbing comic event. But, I don't know. I guess Doomsday is pretty cool in that. Some of the, the Eradicator looks cool. And I'm sure it's going to be fucking dynamite because everything that DC Animation does is pretty much a 10 or close to it. And that's it. Hopefully DC Collectibles won't recycle us again next year with Essentials Plus and plus this and that and adding a bunch of bullshit that we already have, like we need any more of the same action figures. So offer us something new. I think that's pretty much it on my list. I'm looking here. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to HeistClick, a shout out to The Lair. Without them, we wouldn't have the great giveaway. Like go back one video ago and check out the giveaway and put a comment on it because you get a chance to win the Marvel animated Iron Man statue from Scotty Young. So shout outs to The Lair. That's laironline.net. Go there, order some cool shit. Those guys in there are a bunch of good guys. Also a shout out to Geekstronomy, geekstronomy.com. You should check them out. HeistClick provides the music, and I'm Rob Banks saying, I'll see you next time. Fuck you and fuck the Comic-Con. Peace.